Welcome back to Focus on South Texas. We are talking about a new concept in San Antonio that is catching fire. In fact, we have showcased a couple of plays recently that have engaged this concept, and apparently it's working so much so that more theaters are getting involved and more organizations are getting involved. Shannon Ivy, she has been on Focus on South Texas before, so she's kind of a veteran here. She is the founder of Theater for Change, and Amy Stead is with the Magik Children's Theater, and she's going to tell us about her involvement in this concept, right? Okay, so Shannon, what is it?
Well, Theater for Change is a coalition of South Texas dramatic media artists. So they're filmmakers, theater artists, visual artists, who kind of have all gotten together and said, you know what, our art has deeper meaning. We've always kind of felt that way, but it has deeper meaning. And so what we're doing is we're pairing nonprofit organizations, the messages of nonprofit organizations, and we are pairing it with theaters to kind of expand the horizon of the message that they're already kind of pushing from their nonprofit.
Well, and the last time Shannon was on Focus, we were specifically talking about the show Annie that was happening at the Playhouse.
Right.
And it had to do with kids who had been abandoned. I mean, sort of following the theme of Annie. So how did that go?
It was amazing. We had 150 foster kids at the Playhouse watching Annie. It was so beautiful because watching that show with children who were in the foster to adopt system was something else. I mean, we had one little girl come up to us. She was about 5 years old. She looked at us and she said, "They wrote a princess for me," and which was something that we never even thought of. But it was a really big deal for her. These children had never been in the theater before, and the lobby display that we had from Child Protective Services, you know, everybody kind of went through the Heart Gallery in the beginning, but after they saw children who had been in the adoption process and they saw them in front of them, they watched the show, everybody trickled through the lobby and looked at these children who were in need, and it was just with a different feeling and a different emphasis. It was really a successful
empathy.
Event. Yes.
It's creating empathy.
That's true.
And I think that's exactly what has to happen, especially to get people to donate and get involved.
That's
and
true.
So now we're talking about something that's happening at the Magik Children's Theater with Rapunzel. So Amy, what is this about?
Well, Rapunzel is a great show, and I was so excited that Shannon called us. You know, the theme of Rapunzel is obviously hair, and what we wanted to say about the show and communicate to the people who were coming to see is that hair doesn't make the girl. And you know, obviously, these children who are going to be here for the event, you know, they're going through treatment. But this story is about how it's about heart, it's about soul, and it's more than about what's on the outside. It's a fun show. I cannot wait. I think we are so excited about having them there.
And it's for the Little Fighter Foundation,
Right.
and this is helping pediatric cancer patients, right?
And pediatric cancer is the leading cause of death of children in the state of Texas, and who have diseases. And so this is a huge deal that we're dealing with here. And the Little Fighter Foundation was started off of a little boy named Reed, and he had cancer, and his father is a firefighter. And so this whole foundation started to really help support him, but then it just grew much bigger. And what they do is so awesome. They just help. 100% of their money goes to helping the families pay day-to-day expenses. Gas money to get to the hospital, electric bills. But one of the things that they don't ever talk about, which I think is a really beautiful thing that they do, is that they help bury children. Because most of these families have been devastated by this disease, and they don't have the money to properly bury their beloved kid.
And I hate to say it, it's a topic that no one ever wants to discuss, because it makes me get choked up even thinking about it. But it is so true, because you already go through the death, and then it's so difficult to have to pay for the funeral, the burial, and everything like that. So that's amazing.
Yeah, in a year and a half, they've paid for 19 funerals.
Just the Little Fighter Foundation?
Just the Little Fighter Foundation.
Wow. And so I know that you guys are also adding another little aspect to this, some kind of important hockey players.
Yeah, some San Antonio Rampage players will be there. So what we're really excited about is that this is a nice kind of a release, a nice way to sort of kind of escape from the reality for a little bit and give them an opportunity, the families, to join up with the Rampage and together to sit and watch a show. You know, as actors and as employees of a theater, I think sometimes we take for granted and we forget that what we're doing on stage is it can really impact people's lives. We forget that the people sitting out there, they have their own personal reasons for coming to the theater, and what a great way for us to put on a show to bring smiles to kids' faces, to impact the lives of people here in San Antonio. It's great. We are so excited. And yes, to have hockey players, how cool is that?
Well, and
We're
there's
excited.
a group. I mean, they have Face Off Against Childhood Cancer, Rampage does. And so, what they do is they pair the hockey players with a child who's suffering from cancer in San Antonio. And so they're kind of going on a date
Okay,
night.
so they're bringing their buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a date
It
night.
is a date night.
Okay, and then, so anybody who wants to come see Rapunzel, which by the way, this specific with the Rampage players is happening February 27th.
Yes.
So anybody can meet the hockey players as well. They'll
Yeah.
just be in the audience. Now, can they fit in the chairs?
I'm pretty sure they can.
Yeah.
I haven't met any personal hockey players who haven't been able to sit in our chairs. But yeah, this is open to the public. Tickets are available on our website. The show runs through March, but this particular event on Wednesday nights is open to anybody.